They hate this country. They hate Donald Trump. And everything that they thought that they were going to bring to the table as leaders went out the window.
Club for Growth CEO David McIntosh and former GOP national spokesperson Elizabeth Pipko. Thank you both for coming on. David, to you first. Chuck Schumer said that Dems would rather have the shutdown, and then he changed his mind and he said, no, we can't have the shutdown. He had this change of heart. Watch.
A shutdown would give Donald Trump and Elon Musk carte blanche to destroy vital government services at a significantly faster rate than they can right now.
Somebody got to him, David, because it was going to be the Schumer shutdown. All day we're like, well, this is the Schumer shutdown. And I mean, there's some people came on their radio shows and said, oh, yeah, it's going to be ugly.
It's ugly. This is a total victory for President Trump and the Republicans in Congress. Schumer realized he was going to get blamed if the government got shut down this time. And what it does is allow President Trump to keep the pace going. With all the executive orders, with DOGE, he set a pace for change in Washington that's unheard of. And the most important thing, Trace, is it now tees up the big bill. Mm-hmm. The Trump tax cuts, close the border, open up oil exploration in this country. Congress is set to do that.
Although he's already shut the border, so that's, I mean,
that's right. What it does is
make
make it permanent with the legislation. Yep. But the key thing is the economy and the tax bill. If we don't have that, we have the Democrat tax increase, $4.5 trillion.
Right. Hold that thought. Putin said this. Elizabeth Pipko, not that you are a war expert here, but you know the political savviness of all this. Vladimir Putin made this statement today on the potential ceasefire plan. Watch.
We agree with the proposals to stop the hostilities, but we proceed from the fact that this ceasefire should be such that it would lead to long-term peace and eliminate the original roots of this crisis.
President Trump said that the statement was promising but incomplete. What do you think politically about this?
You know, Trace, I'm not a war expert, like you said. However, I do have an interesting spot here. I'm obviously a proud American, but I'm also the daughter of immigrants from both Russia and Ukraine. So I actually understand a little more than I'd like to understand about the matter. The fact is, President Trump came into the Oval Office promising to bring peace. He promised to bring peace to a conflict that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris proved that they did not know what to do with and how to handle. Obviously, if anything else, they actually made it worse. As we all know, Putin did not invade when Donald Trump was in the White House, but felt that he had a free pass when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came in. The fact is, people are looking for peace, not just in this country, not just in Russia and Ukraine, but around the world. That's why so many people support Donald Trump and this administration and their plans. Mm-hmm. And that's why he won in the landslide that he did. People are sick of the bloodshed. They're sick of the political games. All they want is a ceasefire so people, as Donald Trump always says, with his common sense, can stop dying.
And that's why I asked you. Meantime, J.D. Vance was on the Ingram angle tonight talking about the debates about DOGE. Watch.
The fact that you have a disagreement at a meeting, that does not mean that you have misalignment. It just means that you've got to talk about this stuff. We're not going to have an administration where you have a president who sits there at cabinet meetings asleep while his wife runs the cabinet meeting and nobody's doing anything. We're going to talk about issues. And it does annoy me that that leaked.
And that's the whole point, David, is they want robust debate, correct?
That's exactly right. They want to get the right ideas there. DOGE is doing a tremendous job of identifying where the government has failed to do what it's supposed to do. They can't keep track of where all the money's going. And so Elon and the DOGE folks have figured out a system to make it work, get rid of the fraud, and save the American taxpayers $1 trillion.
Yeah, they're on their way. I mean, the thing is $105 billion. Meantime, here's some of the protesters supporting Mahmoud Khalil at Trump Tower. Watch some of them for a few seconds here. So most of them were taken away and arrested, Elizabeth Pipko. The National Review writes the following here. Columbia University announcing Thursday it has expelled or suspended students who expressed anti-Israel sentiments while occupying a campus building last spring. The Ivy League school has also revoked the diplomas of some graduates. Does it feel to you like some of this is getting enough pushback?
No, look, I think what's happening is pretty obvious here. It's happening because they fear what this administration could possibly do when it comes to the repercussions for their actions at these universities. The fact is, Trace, I worked for Donald Trump in 2016. I was one of the youngest staffers on his campaign, and I remember walking into that very lobby and being spit on by protesters. And I thought to myself, why are the leaders of our country not saying anything? And I realized because they hate this country more than they want to bring something forward in the sense of making us better in the future. And everything that they thought that they were going to bring to the table as leaders went out the window when he ran for president and became their enemy. The fact is they encourage these protesters, and the same ones that spit on me in 2016 are now waving the flags of terrorist groups in the streets. These leaders put their hatred for Donald Trump in front of their loyalty, their decency, and their jobs to fight for this country and the American people, and it is blatantly obvious.
Elizabeth Pipko, David McIntosh, thank you both.
Great to be with you.